Hey guys, good morning. It is like 11:30ish. Oh, there we go. So, what has happened? A little birdie's in front. Hi, little birdie. Why are you just standing there, huh? Hi. You know I'm coming this way. Yeah. I know. Okay, that bird was vibing. Okay. This is one of my favorite paths that's close. And so I figured today just wanted to do something that I knew. Because I was trying to find a trail, and I don't know. But yeah, so what happened so far? So this morning, I woke up at around 10, which is pretty late for me. To be fair, I had a difficult time falling asleep, and I was having this, it wasn't a panic attack so much as it was like I was starting to worry about effectively just I kept imaging and picturing myself being just in a car and trying to fall asleep in the car without a house or a place to stay, and it's cold, and it's I toss and turn, and it's awful, and all that stuff. That's what there's slugs. I gotta pay attention to the slugs. So that's what I was struggling with last night as I was going to bed. And so I ended up falling asleep probably at around 1:30. So it makes sense that I would wake up at about what's it called? The fuck's it called? Waking up at 10, sorry. So yeah. So that's the first thing. When I woke up, I felt awful. I felt like death. And I looked at the clock and it said 10, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta get up. So last night I talked about the difference between what I usually do of just start listening to the book versus what I should do, which is listen to some music and then do the filming and all of that stuff. Well, obviously I didn't do the filming until now, but what I did do is I listened to 3 songs, and then after I listened to the songs, I listened to one channeled message, and then I took a shower. And that combo got me awake enough and thinking enough to where I was like, I should... Oh man, I'm wondering if I should go back and actually get a jacket. I mean, it's like 55 or like almost 60. I don't know. I think because I'm going to be moving, I think I'll be fine. I kind of like it, but I don't. I guess part of me is a little worried that I will that I will like get cold or something, but I mean, I kind of like it cooler, so I don't know. It's really only my arms at this point. The rest of my body's totally fine. So what is that noise? Oh, bee. Okay, well, if I need to head back, I'll cut this short. But this is a wonderful little trail. I really like it a lot. And also there's enough like terrain variation, and it's a nice trail, so that's why I like walking it. I also know it pretty well, so that's also why I like doing this trail. But anyway, so I did all those things, and then, well, I'm obviously here now. And I mean, obviously, I'm glad that I'm doing this. I think well, okay. So you can see the difference between yesterday and today, all from literally like 10-minute difference in the morning. It's the decision tree of, do I listen to the book or do I listen to some music? And this is kind of we don't really talk about, like, as just people, we don't talk about the fact that because I know myself best, or because you know yourself best, it's important to what's the word? It's important to find these little hacks, for lack of a better term. They're things where it works for you. You know that if you do a certain thing, some other action will happen. So in my case, I know, oh yeah, I'm feeling fine. I'm actually kind of glad I don't have a jacket. But you know that if you don't do a certain thing, so like an example, if I don't listen to the book, I'm more likely to get stuff done throughout the day. That's a little hack I know about myself. Now, for other people, it might be the opposite, where reading a book gets them primed to do something. So it's not a one size fits all, and that's why you have to figure out the little hacks for you specifically. And as you work through it and figure out more of these little hacks, you can set an individual day up to where you can't help but do the things that are more beneficial to you in the long term. So, like I said, even if after this I do nothing else with my day, which, you know, I do have other things I want to do. I need to do my editing. And there is some editing I have to do because there was a fuck up on, I think, Thursday with the camera. And then also, it sucks, but I don't think I'm going to be able to fix the, what's it called? I don't think I'm going to be able to fix the footage. So I'm probably just going to do an editor note for all the footage, because if I don't, then effectively I have in the morning, hey, I'm doing something and I got a camera and I'm going to do stuff, and then I just don't do anything. So I want to make sure that I actually just do the thing. So I want it to be like, because the footage I don't think is usable, because I shot it in that 4:3 aspect ratio, and I used the HVAC or the HECVA, whatever the fuck it's called, 265 thing. I'm gonna actually I wanna blow my nose. I'm gonna try the tripod part of this. That's gonna fall. Okay, well, you guys just hold on for a second. All right. Sorry. I realized as I was trying to put the tripod down that I would have to pull the camera out more because of the center peg. It extends out pretty far, so it was actually longer than the 3 tripod pieces. But anyway, this was such a great buy, by the way. I'm so happy with this little handheld, I guess, selfie stick, for lack of a better term, that turns into a tripod. It's really nice. Anyway, don't remember what I was saying, but the main kind of point that I'm bringing up is the idea that if you, oh man, that's a big slug, big boy. If you set up these hacks throughout the day, you can get a lot done because you planned for the things, you planned around the things about you that you just know. Like, you know, for me, it's a book. But for someone else, it could be the computer themselves or their phone or whatever. And as you learn what works and what doesn't for you, you know, it could be food, as an example. You know, food's another one of those things for me where if I don't eat vegetables as the first meal of my day, I know, or at least as part of my meal, I know that for the rest of the day, I'm not going to eat them, or the chances of that are very low. So what do? Vegetables are the first meal of my day. Otherwise, I'm not going to get them. And so the more of these little hacks that you figure out, the better off you're going to be in the long run, because you can guide your behavior and travel around these pitfalls that you have. Because, look, I'm not perfect. No one really is perfect. And it's really easy to get caught up in shaming yourself because, oh my gosh, I don't know, insert random thing here. Like, yesterday, where I did nothing all day, I could easily shame myself for that and judge and say how, oh my gosh, I'm worthless, blah, 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 whatever, right? It's really easy to do that. But if you instead break it down like I did in the evening, where I sat down, I'm like, okay, it's 12 o'clock. Fuck it. I'm gonna film a thing, talk about why things happened the way they did, and then plan out a better strategy for tomorrow. And lo and behold, I did the strategy, and surprise, surprise, now I'm here. Because I could have just as easily listened to the book again and wasted a whole day. Now, it's not to say that you should, if you start, falling down your little path of, whatever it is. So for me, it's books. If I start reading a book and then realize it's 12 o'clock or 1 or 2 in the afternoon, it's still valuable to stop yourself and say, okay, I might have screwed up the beginning of the day. But doesn't mean that I have to waste the whole day and write it off as a day where I'm just gonna not do anything. You don't have to be super rigid. So it's this kind of stuff where as you learn about yourself more, and as you work on these little things, man, there are so many slugs. As you learn, these things will help you drastically change the amount of time you're doing the thing that you feel is like not conducive for growth or for success or whatever it is, right? Another one that used to be a big thing for me is hopping on Discord and chatting with my friends on Discord. When I used to do that, I would inevitably get sucked into playing a game with them. Some game, whatever it is. Usually it was WoW. Sometimes it was like League of Legends, back when I played that. But understanding the root decision that will inevitably bring you down the path. Sorry, there was like a fucking bee or fly or something that flew past my left ear. But the decision tree, figuring out where it starts from, where's the slippery slope for you. It's like, you just have to figure out those things for you. Everyone has different things, like I said. Anyway, I think I've beat this like a dead horse, or whatever the fucking thing is, whatever the analogy was. Something about horses. But yeah. So why am I bringing this all up? Why is this important? Why does it even matter? Well, individually, we can write off an hour of time, a day of time, a week of time, and say, well, it doesn't matter because I'll just start at X time, or I'll start doing it at this time or that time or whatever. But that's not actually when you do that, when you throw away time, or you write off time, inevitably, oh, this is cool. I like this. Did I get it? I can't see, but here, let me flip the camera around. Here, let me. It's stuck in my hand. Okay. This is cool. Anyway. Okay. Okay. Just wanted to show that. This is neat. But okay. So it's really easy to throw away time. And the problem is, because it becomes a loop, you can throw away way more time than you initially thought you were going to be throwing away. Because not only every time you throw away a bit of time and write it off, it's like you what will happen is you'll be, for lack of a better term, you'll think you're only writing off one day. I'll use the day as an example, like yesterday. Now imagine if I just decided, because it was 12 when I turned on the camera. Imagine if I didn't decide to do that video and went to bed instead. in that video, I walked through everything on like what happened and how to change it. And by me walking through that, it set the intention for tomorrow for me to do that. Now, if I didn't do that, and I woke up tomorrow, I could have just as easily, well, for today, I could have just as easily started listening to the book again. Because I got into this pattern of behavior. Hold on. Someone's coming. How's it going? You have a cute dog.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. That was a good dog. He was listening to what the owners were saying, which is good. But anyway, what I was saying. By the way, that is so smart to have a little bell on their dog, or maybe it's not on their dog, but on the person, so that it's really easy for people to know that someone's coming with a dog. Smart. But anyway, like I was saying, so when you get in a loop like that, it becomes really easy to reinforce the loop because you did it yesterday and you started it today. So you're reading, in my case, you're reading and you're like, well, instead of you just saying, oh, it's just going to be today and then tomorrow I'll get back to things. Suddenly, it becomes, well, I'm only 2 books away from finishing the series, which I think I'm like 4 books away. But like, you know, in this analogy, I'm 2 books away from finishing the series. Why don't I just, you know, I can just read them for the next like 4 days. And then I'll be fine. And you think, well, the loop will end because the book ended, right? Wrong. Because there's a bigger loop that I explained earlier on, I find the next book and then I do it again. And so what we don't realize on the day-to-day is the types of loops that we have in our life. Now, just as there are loops for behaviors that we would consider negative, and that, again, it's all individual. You might think that reading is actually a really positive thing for you in order to get stuff done. And if that's the case, hold on. Hello, little birdies. I was just a little worried there. Wasn't sure if... Oh yeah, it's a bird. But I just heard a bunch of leaves rustling. There's a type of bird that really likes to search for bugs in leaves. I don't know what the bird is called, but it's a little bit bigger. I think it has like an orange belly. And I've noticed that they really like being on the ground and digging through these like wet mulch leaves and stuff in order to get their food. So it's just a small interesting little tidbit there. But anyway, so my point is that we can use loops because the loop inherently isn't good or bad. It's what we view the activity as. That's when we start judging. And so it's like, okay, well, if there are certain things you want to do, make positive loops to reinforce the things that you want to do. And the reason you do this, for obviously aside from the fact that it's really healthy and good to have positive loops, it gives you momentum. And this is what I was talking about earlier. I say earlier, but like a couple weeks ago, I was talking about what an interesting bird sound. It's like bop, 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 or whatever. Never heard that. Anyway, so with these loops, because they're so good at reinforcing a behavior, you can do something like what I'm talking about with starting your day off, where you figure out certain things that you want to be doing and then do them, because sleep is a type of loop that resets you. You can use that to your advantage in the morning. And it doesn't mean you have to wake up at a certain time. Doesn't matter. It could be 10. It can be 2 in the afternoon. It could be, actual snail. It could be 1 in the morning. Doesn't matter. Wherever you start your day, you have the opportunity to supplant in your mind loops that will benefit you. So this is how you hack yourself. Because as you do this, you will slowly change yourself towards leaning more on the side of the loops that you consistently do. There's another, I'm gonna set the camera down. I wanna blow my nose again. This is a nice little spot for it. Okay. All right. But yeah, okay. So with loops, because they are powerful, and we all fall into these different loops, instead of having these negative loops that you're fighting, create these positive loops. And whenever you have a decision that you have to make between a positive and a negative loop, and again, it's all subjective, what I mean by subjective is the loops. Sorry. But when you have a choice between positive and negative loops, the loop that you've done most often, is generally speaking the one that you're going to pick. Not because one loop is inherently better than the other, just because this is how our minds work. We want to do the thing that is more known and safe over the thing that is less known and less safe inherently. Even though they may be, like, objectively, one thing could be safer than the other. But if we internally don't feel like it's safer, the safer option, we're gonna pick the things that we just know. Because that comfort is a form of safety, because it's what we know. We don't like, generally speaking, the unknown, because the unknown, Jesus, this is a huge hill. Oh, fuck. Okay, that goes back down. Here, I'm gonna, because I haven't gone this far, I'm gonna put this stick down. Wow, that that didn't go very well. Do I want to go up that way? I'm feeling this path. Okay, 37 minutes. I'll go to 45 and then I'll start turning around. I also have to remember that I gotta change out the battery at about an hour. Anyway, so known versus unknown. That's one metric that we use to decide actions. Another metric is how safe we feel doing the action. So you could do an action that you feel is really dangerous or unsafe, and even if you do it often, doesn't mean that you I'll walk up a little bit further. I don't want to walk up this huge hill. If I don't have to. Okay. Does this kind of fall off into something, or do I keep going up? Oh, hey, little guy. Okay. I'll go a little bit further. But yeah, so hi, little birdie. Hi. Hi. Okay, this kind of, I feel like I'm getting baited into slowly walking further up. I just kind of want to know Okay, so that to the left. Put my camera on this branch. Okay. All right. I think I'm going to stop here and turn around. It's almost 41 minutes. I think that's good enough. When I want to do a 2-hour hike, I'll see how far this goes. But I suspect the trail on the right is actually a long, winding trail that meets back up with this. That's my suspicion. So next time I'll take the left trail and we'll see where that leads. I'm also incredibly glad that there we go. I'm incredibly glad that I didn't bring my jacket. Holy fuck, I'm sweating already. And the cool breeze is very nice. Anyway, so these different loops that we can get kind of roped into, inevitably, if we don't think about them, don't care about them, then they will effectively run our lives autonomously. And what I mean by that is, if you do not put thought into the loop, everyone has loops, by the way. Like every single one of us, if you don't think you have a loop or a set of loops, you're wrong. It may be hard to see what the loops are, but we all have loops in some form. Now, there are occasionally people that have loops disguised as not a loop. So an example, let's say you have someone who travels a lot. And they're like, hey, I don't have loops because I'm always at a different place. And I'm always doing random stuff. Fuck. I gotta blow my nose again. Yeah, here. There we go. That's a cool shot. And then you've never seen me again. Okay. Anyway, like I was saying, so you have these loops, and in the case of someone who travels a lot, the traveling itself is a loop. And you may think, well, that doesn't make sense, because I go to different places and I leave at different times. How can this possibly be a loop? Because it's not the same. It's the act of you moving from place to place. And then there are individual things about that movement where you have a set of things you do when you get to a new place. So even if you continuously are exploring new places and seeing new sights and all of that stuff, the act of you setting up, okay, I'm at a new place, I need to figure out what's around me, I need to find a place to stay, or maybe you have a place that you've booked, and before you leave to the next place, you book another place, and this is your loop. These are the types of things I'm talking about, where we don't think about them. They're kind of just automatic because we've learned the behavior that this is the best way for me to go about traveling. And so you do the same thing over and over again so that you have a sense of normalcy when you're doing these things. And this is what I'm talking about. We can become very autonomous with our actions, or we can let the actions get dictated by the loops that we've kind of built from our lived experiences. So, what do you do about it? What is the best way to do things? Well, there isn't really a best way to do things, to be fair. They both have their pros and cons. But in my personal experience, I've found that if you actively set up loops that you find beneficial, like I've been explaining, then the birds are, well, they're there. Okay. It was a little bit quiet for a second. But, so if you actively set up these loops, you're guiding the ship. You're steering your lived experience on a day-to-day, where, we don't think about, generally speaking, we don't think about brushing our teeth. We just do it. That's a positive loop for most people, right? Some people might be like, I don't like brushing my teeth and it's bad and whatever, But like, generally speaking, most people have grown up learning that brushing your teeth is an important habit to have. And so you build the loop habit of brushing your teeth every day. And loops, effectively, you can call them habits. But like, I think calling them a loop is a bit more descriptive than just a habit, because a habit doesn't imply that you effectively are looping around back to the same thing over and over again. A habit is, like, I'm mincing words here. I mean, they're effectively the same thing, but I like loop as a bit more, it feels a bit more descriptive. I realized I was going to get into the weeds there, so I stopped myself. But, anyway. So, what's the point of setting up loops? Why is it actually beneficial? Like, why don't we just walk around and just let the loops take control effectively? Like, you still are in control of yourself, but when you're fighting your loops and fighting effectively the patterns that you've built, it makes for a very disharmonious kind of experience. And so it's important to if you really want to like enjoy your experience on Earth, one of the things that's important is being in harmony with yourself. We can call this in resonance, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's you in being in tune with yourself to the point where you everything you do matches inside that like resonant frequency of who you are. Why is this important? It's important because this allows you to be more genuine. And it's not just being genuine to other people, it's being genuine to yourself. So, you know, I last week, I talked about how I really love magic and the system stuff, and how I really do desire to be in a world like that, where there is a system, there's, you know, all of that stuff. That's a desire I have. And it sounds, well, literally fantasy. It's literally a fantasy. Because that's like where it came from. But just because our reality doesn't currently reflect a desire we have, or that there is, I'm switching hands. It's 52, okay. Okay, but just because we have a set of desires that don't match up with reality, or that people say is impossible, or whatever, doesn't mean it's actually impossible. Now, you're probably like, what the fuck? Like, why are you saying that, like, are you saying that magic and the system and all of that stuff could happen? Yes, I fucking am saying that. And the reason I'm saying that is because if we allow for our desires and imagination to be boxed by what our current reality looks like, then all we can ever have is what our current reality is. So, if I grew up in a household where my friends, my family, all said, you're going to be poor your whole life, and you're going to live in a cardboard box, and that's all we can do. And every time you dream of living in a house, you say, no, that's impossible, because everyone around me is telling me it's impossible. So it is impossible. When you do that, and obviously I'm using an example that's more grounded in physical reality. Well, hold on, wait a minute. This is the problem. It's very insidious. I literally just did the thing I was explaining, where I said, living in a house is a more reasonable goal than magic being real. Okay? And at its face value, you could say, well, isn't that obvious? And I'd say, no, it's not. Because we like to think, as humans, that we know everything. We know everything that could exist. We know that the ground is solid. I'm standing on solid ground. And so it'll always be like this. And the answer is no, it won't always be like this. It's only like this because we live on Earth. And on Earth, there's a lot of norms with how Earth reacts, or Earth acts, rather. Our sun, the gravity, the plant life, the animals, all of this stuff is not a absolute. It is a specific to one tiny dot within a vast cosmos. And we don't like thinking about the fact that our planet is a tiny speck of sand among a vast sea of possible planets that exist. But that's the truth. And, you know, most people have boxes that they paint in order to make them feel better about their actions. It's safer to live inside a box than it is to live outside the box. Why? Because if you're in a box, you know what's in the box. But if you take the box away, there is a ton of unknown. And this is where I'm switching my arm again. Yeah, okay. An hour and 10 minutes is when the camera started to die. So, I'll talk for a little bit and then I'll stop. So basically, when we do this box-like thinking of living in a box, which, by the way, there's nothing wrong with living in a box, but it's a trade-off. If you live in a box, that means all you can ever experience is the box. And maybe the box is really big, and it's really nice, and it's really cool, and you're okay with that. That is fine. That, however, does not mean that everyone has to live inside that box. And so, for me, I don't live in a box. I allow for anything to exist, because anything can and does exist. Just because we can't fathom it in our current understanding of reality doesn't mean that it doesn't exist in some form. It may not be what we imagine it to be, but in a cosmos that has infinite universes in it, for lack of a better term, or the multiverse, anything is possible. Now, if you think about this is going to blow your mind a little bit. Think about the idea that you live as this tiny molecule relative to the vast universe. And then think about the fact that there is actually infinite numbers of universes, all different. Some are very similar, some are not. And so, for us to arrogantly say, this cannot be. Oh, I just think I had a bug or something that I just fucking killed on accident on my face. Okay, well, I don't know. You guys will have seen it if you saw it. Anyway, so within this vast multiverse, saying the only experience is the experience on Earth is so arrogant, it's like laughable. And even within our tiny, tiny dot, which is Earth, there are already things that we don't understand or can't explain about our tiny, tiny rock. And so this is why I don't mind saying that magic is real somewhere. And I also don't mind saying that probably every fiction that has ever existed probably exists somewhere out there. Because really, like, why can't they exist? Just because someone wrote something doesn't mean it can't be a reality somewhere. Is it our current reality? No. It's currently on Earth. We do not have fucking World of Warcraft orcs and humans fighting and whatever, right? But trying to look for a good place to replace my battery. But just because we can't fathom it on where we currently exist doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Okay, let me swap batteries. Hello. Okay, I'm back. Battery swap successful. Oh, there's someone coming. Hi, how's it going? No, you're fine. Oh, hi, you're cute. Okay. But yeah, I'm back. Swapped batteries. We're good for the rest of the trip. But yeah. So this is why it almost angers me that people are so close-minded. But I understand that the alternative is scary because it is effectively allowing for anything to happen. And the unknown is inherently scary. Now we can get excited about the unknown instead and think, oh my gosh, anything could happen. And this is the kind of mindset I want to have, where I'm working on cultivating that. Because last night, I was really scared that one possibility is me being stuck in my car. But why the fuck am I so fixated on one out of an infinite number of possible things that could happen? There's 2 whole months. That is, if I think about how much I've changed from February to now, okay, that's 4 months. So, and you saw what happened in the first 2 months and in the latter 2 months. So much can happen that, like, why am I afraid of something that's going to happen in the future? And it's not even what will happen in the future. It's not even a real thing right now. The future isn't real. Only the present moment is real. And so why should I react in a different way to a future that won't happen? Just how you can say, oh my gosh, this is totally a future that can happen. You can also say that it won't happen, because the odds of it happening are actually pretty low. Because I know that so much is going to be changing in these next 2 months that, like, how can I even predict what will happen? That plus the intuition that I've built inside that I'm listening to, plus all of the, like, previous actions I've set up, you know, it's kind of ridiculous to assume one specific outcome. But that's kind of the beauty of it, that anything could happen. And so, because anything could happen, why the fuck shouldn't I, sorry for overexposure, why the fuck shouldn't I just live my life every day and get excited for all the potential instead of getting afraid? Because at the end of the day, fear tries to pigeonhole us and make us freeze in the moment because of a what if. You know, there was a really wonderful quote in the book I'm reading that the main character kept using because his mentor said it, and it was a whole thing. The main character basically is, like, really traumatized from getting betrayed in the past. And so the mentor was like, I don't know the exact quote, but I'm going to paraphrase it. Effectively, why should you not trust? I'm doing a terrible thing for this. Don't think that's how it starts. It was something to the effect of, I am not going to live my life in fear of being betrayed, because if I do, then I fucked up the whole quote, but effectively it's just saying that if you are always afraid to trust, then you'll never experience the joys that come with trusting others, building friendships, all of that stuff. And instead, you're going to effectively let fear take control of you. And when you do that, that's no way to live. And so coming back to this thing, which I'll try to find the quote and then say it. It's way more elegant than what I just said. But I think there's something to be said about trusting in the moment and trusting in not only yourself and what you've kind of done, but also trusting that you will be fine, regardless of what situations kind of pop up. Things will work out for you. They may not work out the way you want them to, and hell, they may not even work out in the way you imagined at all. But you will be fine, regardless of how things turn out. Oh, birdies. Little birdies. There's some birds looking for food. But yeah. So getting back to my main point here. There's no reason for me to worry about the future because it hasn't happened, and my predictions cannot encompass the future at all. Yeah, we can predict a little bit, but our predictions are often wrong or wholly inadequate to really encapsulate the actual moment. And so I think it's vital to stay on your path in spite of what others around may think or say, because they're living in a box and I don't. And so what's possible for them is not possible for me in the same way. That's cute. There's a little, let me show. Someone put a little marble there. Did I get it? Here, let me, there we go. Okay. I want to blow my nose again. There we go. Oh. Okay. So, what's the takeaway? Because I'm getting kind of close to being back and finishing this. So what is the takeaway? Well, if I had to put my finger on something specific with this whole message, it's if you set up your daily loops / habits / what an average day, the things you want to accomplish, if you set it up to where they are beneficial to your current goals, and then you focus on staying present in the present moment, then inevitably, regardless of what the actual outcome might look like, you will do just fine. And you might even have some really awesome outcomes that you couldn't have dreamed of that are even better than the things that you were hoping would happen. So, follow your guiding internal intuition, and don't allow yourself to be shaken by the future, the potential futures that you dream, or whatever. Instead, focus on optimizing your moments so that you're giving yourself an equal amount of play and enjoyment, along with, things that help move forward your goals. And you do the play and the work in kind of this like wave motion, and it's just, you do that on a daily basis, and the outcomes will surprise you in some pretty beneficial ways. So, I guess that's what I'm kind of pointing towards. I hope you guys liked this little walk, because I love this walk. There's so much diverse foliage and different terrain. There's no river. That's the only thing. It'd be kind of nice to walk alongside a river, but which, to be fair, I could. There is in fact a river, but I don't know how easy it would be to walk down the river for a long way. So I'm not sure. Anyway, right, well, I guess I'm here at the entrance to this part. So I appreciate everyone who watches. I really do want this to be helpful, because God knows, well, I say God knows, the universe knows how chaotic. Oh, hey, little squirrely. Hi, it's okay. Oh my goodness. You're so cute, huh? Oh my goodness. Oh, what a cute little squirrel. Okay. I'm gonna go. So, I guess I'll talk to you guys a little bit later. Okay, bye. All right, it is 10:29, and I've been listening to my book while I've been working on getting everything uploaded. I am up to 118, which is today. So I have everything except for this video that I'm recording right now as we're talking, or this part. I need to add it to the timeline, and then I can finish today as well. So then I will have everything done. Well, aside from, I still need to write descriptions, which, that takes like 2 seconds. And then also do, what's it called? The thumbnails. But that stuff really doesn't take too long once I start pumping them out. I already posted today's video, which is videos from the 23rd, along with the editor note. So there's that. So really, all that's left is this video getting posted in there. So I'm happy about that. I think today went really well overall. I definitely could have eaten a little bit better. But, I ate some oatmeal and some, I didn't eat my veggie today. How I, just a little earlier in the video, I guess technically it would be this video that you're watching earlier. It was hours for me. But I had talked about how, for me, if I don't eat veg in the morning, I will basically not eat it the whole day. That's literally what happened. I ended up getting this garlic chicken from a place that I really like. And I ate some pineapple with it, and I got really full just off of that. And I'm like, I'm going to feel over full if I eat the veggie as well. So I didn't. I'm like, well, maybe I'll get it a little bit later. And lo and behold, like I'm predicting, it happened. Now, there's obviously a little bit of, I know myself, and also the things that you predict also kind of reinforce the thing, right? So, but anyway, tomorrow I'm gonna go shopping and get some more food, and then I'm also gonna, I think I'm gonna buy the backpack tomorrow. It's either gonna be tomorrow or Monday. I'm not really sure yet, but backpack, because I know that thing. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how long it's gonna take to get shipped to me. So, and maybe it's in Amazon, and so I can just do it on Amazon. Um, I also want to get the handheld, so because I have the M.2. It's a 4 terabyte M.2, so I'm going to. I still don't know if I'm going to split it or not into two separate installs, or if I'm just going to install SteamOS on it and call it good. I think maybe versatility would be nice, but also I could just swap out the M.2s, which would be more annoying than just a plug and play thing. But it's just I don't know how often I'm going to actually want to use the Windows 11 install, because I kind of hate Windows 11. I didn't really like Windows 10, but you know, um, unless I wanted, um, unless I wanted Apple, which I'm not gonna go into the Apple sphere. That feels even more restrictive than Windows. And then there's Linux. I feel like Linux has gotten a lot better, but it's still kind of a toss up on when you can, like, what you can and can't put on Linux. Um, so I don't know. I'll think about it, but regardless, I'm definitely gonna put SteamOS on there. So, um, and I think at that point, because most of my games that I have that I want to put on there, I've already checked. There's like 200 and some odd. There's like 250-ish games that are like compatible with the Steam Deck. Now I say that compatible with the Steam Deck. That doesn't mean that they're not compatible with SteamOS. It just means Steam Deck can play them with the graphic settings and all of that stuff in the hardware. But there's probably going to be a lot more that I can use with this system, because it's a better, like, more upgraded hardware. So um so yeah, and the main thing is the anti-cheat. Any game that has an anti-cheat thing like Rust or, COD or any of that stuff. Um, I can't play any of those games, but I don't think I'm gonna really play any of those games on the handheld to begin with, so it's not gonna really be a big deal. But um, so yeah, I kind of want to do some more. Like, I'll do another walk tomorrow. I did 10K steps. I'm I don't know. There's still a lot that I want to do. So, but everything seems to have worked out on the editing side. But oh my god, 4K videos are so, like, there is I am shocked at how big the file size is. Like, I dragged 250 gigs from just 2 or 3 videos that I filmed with the new camera. And I'm like, wow, 4K is, the overhead is insane. I don't even know if, like, so I tried looking at the YouTube, so the settings for the videos I'm uploading, I don't know if it even allows me to upload past 4K. Or, I mean, past 1080p. Um, I don't know. So I guess when I upload, I'll see if I get a 4K option when it's fully uploaded. Which actually, maybe I can actually check. I think I'm currently uploading a 4K video. Think. Yeah, this is the 4K video. Okay, well, I can't check right now, but anyway. Also, I don't remember what the context is for. I think I said something in one of my videos about someone that I had talked to or something being a little racist, and so someone actually made a comment with like, "Yeah, I'm also a little racist," and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to respond with on that. So I'm just like, okay, well, yep, I guess that's just a comment that's there. So, um, I think it's funny, but like at the same time, it's like, okay. Um, so, um, I'm looking at the finished the end of the timeline for the video you guys just watched, or the part that you just watched, and I have my hand like this. Oh, sorry, like this, trying to like close the camera and shut it off. But it just looks really funny because I'm like, I don't know, the action camera, it feels like it squishes me a little bit, and so I look really bizarre in it compared to like in uh this look, I guess. I don't know. It's very interesting. I will say the greens are fucking green, and I'm like, yeah, that's nice. So, I hope no one got blinded too badly with some of the sun like peeking through the trees occasionally, but anyway, I probably should actually watch a full video. I haven't really been watching my videos. I just at this point, it's like I'll skip through it and I'll look because I remember what I talked about through the thing. So I will like I'll just check to make sure. And then if there's something I need to edit, what I've been doing is I will write a note as soon as I notice that there was something that needed to be edited. Otherwise, I basically just slap it all together and then upload it in the correct format. So, I will say, I I do not envy editor jobs where they spend hours editing a video, or like YouTube content creators that will spend hours editing their video. That takes a lot of skill, and it's a whole other like discipline. And I am wholly not in the like I am not interested in going down that rabbit hole of editing. So maybe at some point, if I can kind of figure out a I mean, I realize if I say that, it's kind of like jumping the cart before the horse, as it were. But I'm gonna trash this. Okay. Just getting rid of video stuff I had on my desktop. But I was thinking about how maybe getting someone to do the editing part of things could be cool if I ever want to do more edited content. But yeah, I don't know. For now, what I'm doing is, like, it doesn't take too much time. Most of it is me being AFK while I wait for things to upload. I will also say, holy crap, it takes way longer to fully upload a 4K video, which makes sense, but yeah. Is it 96? Okay. Yeah, like I'm uploading day, what was it? Day 113, and it took me like 2 hours to upload it. So I'm probably going to, once I finish this video, I'm probably going to throw all the videos in overnight and have them just upload while I sleep, because it's gonna take a while to get all those videos in. There's another 4 or 5 days or something. Yeah, that's 13. So there's another 5 days with 2 of them are 4K. So I don't know, but also I'm gonna need to quickly figure out a better way of dealing with all the storage. Like I might just delete all of my, it's kind of sad, but like I'm looking, my OBS recordings is 1.8 terabytes of raw footage, and then the edited's only 348. So that's what I upload to YouTube. So I kind of feel like it would probably behoove me to just empty the recordings once I'm done, so it's clear, because I still have the video that I upload and I'm saving, but also that is also a temporary measure, and eventually I'm going to have kind of a problem of like, okay, if I think about the fact that day 13's 2 gigs. Wait, what is day 13? Or sorry, day 113. Oh, that's the car one. Okay, so that's an hour, and then it only is, oh, it does have a 4K button. That's great. Okay, so I got the HD quality and then the 4K quality. Okay, great. Well, that's good to know that it's going to take extra time to do the 4K version, I guess. But, which, by the way, I really hope that it's worth, that the 4K is worth it. I'm kind of thinking, like, the fully edited video doesn't actually look that much more expensive. I mean, 2 gigs for an hour would mean like 700 hour. Okay, 700 hours would be like, depending on what it is, it'd be like 350 really long videos. So I guess I don't have to worry about it too much in the long term. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait a minute, I think I did the math wrong. Hold on. Is this... Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I totally did the math wrong. It's 5.6 gigs for 1 hour. So, I have like I have like 200 hours per terabyte almost, like a little less. I mean, that's still 100 videos, but I can totally see how that, and that would be really long videos. But I can totally see how that could get really expensive fast. Um, oh, anyway, I kind of forgot that I was recording for a moment. I was just chugging numbers in there. But yeah, so regardless, I'm going to need to figure out what to keep, or at the very least, see if I can. I don't know. Maybe I'll just get some cheap, like, I say cheap, uh like a terabyte thumb drive or something, or a couple thumb drives, and just throw it all there. Or I don't know. Space is going to be a problem. I'm just not sure what I'm going to do about it. And then there's also the matter of I'm putting this all on my what's it called? My NAS server. I don't know what's going to happen to my NAS server. Like, obviously I need to take it with me, but like I don't know how I'm going to set it up. So it's like obviously, yeah, I'm not sure how that's all going to work. That's future Tom's problem, I guess. But anyway, um I guess that's it. I kind of, it's 11 o'clock almost, so I want to wrap this up so I can go to bed. But yeah, I think overall good day, and we'll just see what happens tomorrow. Um, but I am gonna apply the same strategy that I did today. So yeah, okay. Bye. Have a good night.